applying Neville's teachings to everyday life. The number one thing to remember here is everyone and everything is you pushed out. That's something you're going to have to memorize from now on. That the reactions you're getting from the world and from what's outside of you, the world, other people, everyone outside of yourself, is you pushed out. How you feel about yourself. So if you're in love with yourself, if you treat yourself in the best way possible, if you make sure you have your needs taken care of, and an environment in the way you want it, and a lifestyle in the way you want it, and you make sure that your attitude is a positive one with love, bliss, and gratitude, and that's the energy you're putting out into the world, and you're giving your best to the world every day, then if you're radiating beauty, if you're radiating love, if you're radiating confidence, security, abundance, faith, patience, forgiveness, gratitude, whatever your core values are, you will attract people and situations into your life coming from the similar values that you have. So if you live by the sword, you'll die by the sword. If you're a hustler screwing people over, you will be the victim of that. If you're a liar, cheater, and a stealer, you will be the victim of that at some point. So everyone, everything is you pushed out. Applying Neville's teachings to everyday life. That's what this is about. I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible and boil down the information to the summary, just what you have to know to apply it to everyday life. I know you all are busy. I know you all are working your butts off. I know you all are taking inspired action, divine action towards your goals, and you're busy and you don't have time to listen to hours and hours of content all day. So I'm trying to make this as short as possible and boil it down to the brass tacks so you can apply it to your everyday life. Everyone is you pushed out. Everyone and everything is you pushed out. If you need to put it in a post-it note in your car, on your mirror, on your bedstand, like I have, you'll memorize that. Everyone is you pushed out. So never forget that. The second thing is detach emotionally and it will come to you. So whether that's people, things, situations, romances, money, promotions, whatever, you have to detach emotionally and it will come to you. And I know it's hard and I know it's counterintuitive, but you have to detach emotionally and it will come to you. You have to let go of desperation. I like to use the analogy of babysitting a child. Imagine you're a babysitter and you're in charge of babysitting or taking care of someone else's child. If that child is constantly whining and complaining about everything, about the food you're feeding them, about the activities you're doing, about the flavor of ice cream you're giving them, you're trying to give them a good time and they're complaining about everything, are you more apt to give them ice cream? Try and do fun things with them. Try and take them to the park. They're complaining about it. You take them to the park and they complain about it. You give them small things like ice cream and they complain about it. Are you going to give them bigger things? Are you going to take them to Six Flags or the water park or the mini golf place or whatever, the bouncy castle thing? Are you going to take the kids to do those activities if they complain? No, you're not. So you have to think about God as the doting father. So whatever gifts the Father puts in your lap, whatever the gifts the Father gives you and you're blessed. If you have a smartphone or a laptop and you're watching this, you're blessed. So think about all the blessings. if you're not grateful for the blessings you have, and you're desperate for more and more and greedy for more than what you already have, God is not more apt to grant it to you if you come from a place of desperation, want, and need. If you're grateful, joyful, and blissful with whatever you have, so if you're eating at a gourmet dim sum restaurant, you should be blissful about that. If you could have noodles or dumplings from Trader Joe's that you're jazzing up at home with chili oil and different things and making a delicious meal at home, which I'm going to do a video and show you how to do. But if you're making a meal at home for like $3 with cheap ingredients and it's still delicious, just as delicious as the restaurant, you should be grateful for that. So gratitude in all seasons of time, in all situations, when you have bread on your table, when you have a roof over your head, when you have a car to drive, when you have transportation, clean water coming out of the tap, an indoor bathroom, all these things that people take for granted, and you're complaining because you don't have more. That's the way God's always watching. So if you complain, He's not going to grant you abundance if you're living in a state of lack and you feel like you're in lack and your emotions are in lack. So detach emotionally and it will come to you. Everyone is you pushed out, and let go of desperation. Let go of desperation. It's anti-magnetic. You're not magnetic to your desires and the people and things and situations that you desire. It does not make you magnetic to them to be desperate. So let go of the desperation. Have faith. That's where faith comes in too. When it comes to the desperation thing, divine action versus desperate action. So it's the illusion of action. Just taking action for the sake of doing it because you're anxious and it soothes your anxiety to take action. That's why I'm saying work smarter, not harder. So let me give some examples. Let's say you're nervous because someone you're dating is not texting you back. So what the illusion of action will tell you is you keep on texting them. Text them a funny video, text them a joke, text them about last time you were together. And you send them out a text to soothe your own anxieties and to get a response and to get validation from them. That's desperate action. The divine action would be like, okay, well, I have a lot of things I need to do outside of this person, so I'm going to go focus on that. Whether that's working out, building my business, doing my hobbies, things I like, things I'm passionate about, planning for the future, dreaming, manifesting, saying affirmations, working out, keeping my environment clean, keeping my car clean. There's so many things on the list that I should be doing instead of spending my mental energy worrying about someone who had their own life, their own struggles, their own worries, and they're not here to validate you. No one's on this earth to validate you. So the divine action in this situation be do nothing. Do nothing. Actually doing nothing is sometimes the best antidote, and just leave it. That's the illusion of action. So you can just leave it and not text them and not reach out to them and give them the gift of missing you. They'll wonder what you're doing. They'll miss you. And when they're ready and they're missing your presence, they're missing your voice, they're missing being with you, they're missing being in your arms, they will call you, you'll talk, and you'll make plans for the next time to see each other. That's the thing. And that you have to let things progress organically. You have to let things, don't push for a relationship. Let the other person push for the relationship and ask, what is this? Don't be pushing for things. Don't be pushing for labels. Same thing with a job interview. You don't want to look too desperate. You want to look like you have other options. You want to negotiate for the salary you know you're worth. Like this applies to everything. You can't just be desperate and drooling to do anything and anyone and any job. You need to act like someone with self-respect, and that involves taking a step back sometimes. And desperate action is just acting to soothe your anxiety, but divine action sometimes is an instant. Sometimes you have to take a step back and wait and sleep on it 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. I understand there's things that need to get done quickly. Bills have to be paid. Obligations have to be met. But I'm saying really big emotional decisions like, should I buy a new phone? Should I buy a new laptop? Should I buy a new car? Should I get out of this relationship? Big ticket items, things that we think emotionally sometimes, and we'll go spend money we never planned on spending, or we'll end a relationship we never planned on ending, or doing things impulsively with negative emotion. When you're overcome with negative emotion, when you're overcome with fear, anxiety, doubt, and you have fear and doubt, and you're overcome by it, that's not the time to be making decisions and taking actions and pulling the trigger on your decisions. That's the time to step back, cool off, get lost in positive things, funny things, things that make you laugh, things that up your vibration, mantras, affirmations, inspiring things, working on your purpose and passions. You have time to build yourself up with those things and take a step back and take the focus off of whatever the controversial thing is. So whether it's the relationship, whether it's something out of your control, like how many people are responding to my advertisement or my YouTube channel or whatever it is, things that are out of your control, you need to do what's in your onus of control and then leave it. So do your work, and you have to be focused. And when you're doing work, you have to do divine action, take inspired action, and do what you got to do, but you got to take a step back, especially when you're getting emotional about things. You don't want to make decisions and do a bunch of things when you're emotional. So that's the time to work on sharpening the saw, working out, doing affirmations, doing meditation, working on something else except the controversial thing, and you make a decision when you're more rational about it. And divine action will take you there. So everything and everyone is you pushed out. So faith, patience, forgiveness, self-love, gratitude, love, bliss, abundance, security. All these things are core values that I try and radiate to the world and live myself. So these need to guide whatever your core values are, that whatever you're all about. Faith, patience, forgiveness, self-love, gratitude, bliss, abundance, security. Those things need to guide your thoughts and actions. Those values. Even if your assumptions, your positive assumptions, aren't showing up in the physical world right now, when an assumption, when persisted in, hardens into fact. That's Neville Goddard. That's what we're studying today. An assumption, when persisted in, even if it's not true, it hardens into fact. So you can use your brain and use your thoughts to create the world you want. And you can start small with this. And I'll talk more about that later in the video. How you can start with small manifestations to get bigger ticket items. So you start with the small ticket items. I'm going to talk about that towards the end of the video. You want to be in a pattern of abundance and not scarcity. And sometimes the 3D world, the physical world, will show you that you're in actual scarcity and you don't have any money and you don't have this and that. And that's when the test comes from the universe, whether you can use your mind to get out of it. And you have to have a mindset of abundance, whether it's financially, whether that's with love and relationships and romance. You have to have an abundance mindset with that too. that you're giving out plenty of it and receiving plenty of it in every way. You have to have a pattern of abundance and not scarcity. And these are patterns you get into, and they all have momentum. So small things with abundance turn into larger things. Small patterns of abundance turn into larger patterns of abundance. And more money begets more money. If you're investing it right, and if you're making the right decisions and stewarding what you have right, it becomes a pattern, and it becomes a snowball effect where it grows. And the same thing goes with scarcity, and this can be generational wealth can be passed down, and generational scarcity can be passed down. And it's all up here. It's a matter of attitude. You're not born into it. It's not a race. It's not a creed. It's not a religion. There is no chosen race. There is no chosen religion. There is no chosen people. It's all up here. It's how you choose to use this to get what you want. And when it comes to abundance, you have to have the attitude of being chased by the world, and the world desires you instead of being the chaser. They are chasing you. Who you desire, who and what you desire is chasing you. The things you desire, the people you desire are chasing you. You need to keep on saying that like a mantra to yourself. The attitude of being chased versus chasing. Think about chasing after a dog or chasing after a child. If you keep on chasing after it, it's going to keep running away. But if you stop, take a breath, and step back, eventually it'll come whimpering back to you to get its needs met or whatever. And all you need to do is stop and take a step back. When you feel like you're chasing and not being chased, you need to stop and take a step back. As a general principle, look inward to find satisfaction, bliss, contentment, and happiness. You'll never find it from the outside. Faith, patience, forgiveness, self-love, gratitude, bliss, abundance, security, satisfaction, bliss, contentment, all these different things I'm talking about. You're not going to find it from a perfect partner. You're not going to find it from a perfect business partner or a perfect job or a perfect business, running a business, or being a perfect entrepreneur. You're not going to get it from these outside things. You're only going to get it from your inner workings, how you feel about yourself, how you love yourself. You have to find it from the inside. You need to look inward instead of outward. Look inward to find it, what you're looking for, and radiate what it is that you're looking for out to the world. Everyone is you pushed out. Everyone and everything is you pushed out. So you need to look inward first. You'll never find it from the outside. You're responsible first for meeting your own needs. You need to put your oxygen mask on, like they tell you on the airplane. Put your oxygen mask on before helping other people. So you are responsible for meeting your own physical, financial, and emotional needs, sexual needs, all of them. You are responsible for meeting your own needs. And you need to put your oxygen mask on first before you help others. That doesn't mean that you don't plant seeds with generosity and with helping others. And I'm going to talk about that towards the end of the video. Your life needs to be centered around your deepest purpose and passions. The additional people and possessions that come into your life, except for survival, are a bonus. That's the way you need to view it. With extreme, radical gratitude. So your purpose and your passions need to be the center of your life. Your purpose, your hobbies, your passions. The other people outside of yourself and the things that you're getting, your cars, your houses, your rental properties, your boat, your RV, these are all icing on the cake. They're not the body of the cake themselves. Your possessions, your romances, your relationships, all those things are the icing on the cake. The body of the cake itself, the actual body of the cake, not just the icing, but the actual cake, the part you're chewing on, what makes the cake worth eating is how you feel about yourself. The gratitude, the love, the bliss, the self-love, making sure that you are meeting your needs and loving yourself and respecting yourself, and that you're keeping a clean mental diet and respecting your brain, respecting your consciousness, respecting your mind, being mindful and not letting garbage in. Because if you let garbage in, you're going to put garbage out. So your life needs to be centered around your purpose and passions, and the additional people and possessions are a bonus. The icing on the cake, not the actual body of the cake. Right when your healing and breakthrough is happening, you will be tested. And that's a promise. It's in every religious book. It's in every spiritual book. It's in every personal development book. Right when your healing and breakthrough is happening, you will be tested. And something will happen that will test your faith, test your patience, your faith and your patience especially, but also your forgiveness, your self-love, your gratitude, all your core values, and your state of being, and what you are trying to achieve, and the state you're trying to live in, and what you're trying to exude to the world. It will be tested once you're making progress, and that's a given. And you need to come to this battle prepared for it. It's spiritual warfare. There is a battle for your mind and your soul between good and evil. And it's not the fire and brimstone type. You're at war with yourself. You're at war with your own demons of fear, doubt, and self-loathing. So you need to let gratitude, bliss, and self-love win and prevail over the self-loathing, doubt, and fear, which is a mortal sin. So we are at war with ourselves. It's not an outside enemy. It's not a different race. It's not a different religion. It's not different types of people. We are all at war with ourselves, with spiritual warfare right now. So you have to spend more time in a state of gratitude, bliss, contentment, and confidence and security. You need to spend more time in that world mentally in here. Even if your world's falling apart around you, you need to be there here more than you are in fear and doubt. And fear and doubt's a part of being human, and being afraid and stuff, you can't avoid that. But you need to spend more time in your positive mindset and in your mindset of moving forward and keeping your eye on the prize rather than wallowing in your doubt and fear, which is guaranteed failure. And what goes on in your mind, your assumptions, what you assume is going to happen, that hardens into fact. And that's another thing to remember with everyone as you pushed out, is that your assumptions harden into fact. So I'm going to talk about how to apply this now. I talk about applicable mindset, which is what I'm talking about now, about actual physical things. So you start small. So next time you go to the grocery store, start to manifest the parking spot you want. The parking spot where it'll be easiest to pull out, like small things, like a parking spot where you want it. Manifest small things. If there's a certain dish you want. I've been eating a lot of Asian food lately. I've been liking dumplings. So small things, like I wanted to have dumplings in chili oil, which I make, and I buy the dumplings from Trader Joe's. So you can imagine dumplings or imagine what you want to eat that night and then make that happen for yourself. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be mystical. And it doesn't have to pop out of nowhere. It usually doesn't pop out of nowhere. You imagine it and then you make it happen. The parking spot. Imagine the parking spot you want opening up for you. Like a parking spot. And you'll notice that that parking spot opens up for you. So just start small. With the lunch you're going to have. With the dinner you're going to have. With the parking spot. With a text from someone you want. Like an old friend. Or your lover or partner or whatever. They're going to text you at some point. So that's inevitable. So probably, most likely, if they're really your lover or friend or whatever. So visualize their name popping up on your phone. Just like the parking spot or just like the lunch. And it will So once you start manifesting the small things, start imagining in your head the bigger things, and this works. Imagine you behind the wheel of the car you want. Imagine you walking into the apartment you want. Imagine this is a good one. Imagine you opening up your online banking and the balance is showing what you really want, what your goals are. Imagine the multiple zeros in your bank account when you look at your online banking. Like, keep on imagining in your head, opening up your online banking and seeing those zeros, or seeing the text from the person you want. Use visualization and start with manifesting small things. Take your time to react to life rationally. Take a step back. Don't do anything in anger or in negative emotion. So don't do anything out of anger, desperation, or manipulation. And sometimes we get manipulated without knowing it. So if you're not sure if you're being manipulated, take a step back, take a breather. You don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe anyone an answer, even if they're your partner, even if they're your wife or husband. You don't owe them an answer right away if you're not ready to give them an answer. So if someone's asking you for something manipulative, your boss, your partner, your kids, whoever it is, you have the right to take a step back and think about it rationally rather than emotionally. And that goes for everything. You are the author of your own relationships. Okay? You are the author of your own relationships. So how you imagine people treating you is how they're going to treat you. So if you think someone's a stuck-up person and you're going on a date with them, they're going to end up being stuck up. If you go to a date thinking that, oh, this person desires me and they want to get physical with me and they want me like a fat kid wants cake. Like, that's what I used to tell myself before going on dates when I was single. And usually I get a great response because I go in there expecting the best. I need to go into each situation, each date, each job interview, with each new client, you need to go expecting the best. With each thing you put out into the world, you expect the best. All relationships and situations are a reflection of your relationship with yourself. So you have to focus inward. Shift your consciousness towards your desired state. For me, that's gratitude, love, bliss, abundance, and security. You can revise the past. It's possible. You can revise the past to your desired reality. This starts by accepting that everything that's happened to you, I'm talking to you, everything that's happened to you can and will be used for good. It's up to you. So if you went through cancer, you can use that for good. If you went through a bad breakup, you can use the knowledge you got from that for good. If you went through a broken bone or gout or any of the things, I'm listing all things that I've been through. I've been through cancer. I've been through gout. I don't want to bitch about it to you. But I'm saying the things you use that you've gone through, you can use it for fuel. The things, the emotional pain, the physical pain, the mental pain, the spiritual pain, everything you've been through, everything that's hurt you, you can use it as fuel. The best people from history, they had a chip on their shoulder, they had fuel to propel them. You can use your trauma as fuel to propel you towards your destiny, towards your desires. You can use it as fuel in the gym. You can use it as fuel for building your business. You can use it as fuel for building yourself up, for cleaning your house, cleaning your car, respecting yourself, having a skincare routine, having all these things that you need to be doing for yourself. You can use it as fuel, use it as energy, your trauma. Use it as knowledge. All these mistakes we made, we don't have to make them again. It's the trauma and guilt and wallowing in a victim mindset is what makes us make the same mistakes and traumas again and bring them on ourselves. So when you can practice radical acceptance and gratitude for whatever's happened to you, even the bad things, and tell yourself, You can tell yourself, I will gain strength, knowledge, and wisdom and fortitude from what's happened to me instead of letting it destroy me. Tell yourself that like a mantra and make it a reality. Get strength, fortitude, knowledge, and wisdom from what's happened to you. And that's what makes us wise. And that's what makes us able to make a better decision next time and teach others and teach the next generation coming up, is learning from our traumas and growing from our traumas and getting even more spiritual growth. So that's what you can do. Grow through your trauma. And if you expect the best from people and situations, that's what you're going to get. Telepathy does play a role. So going into a situation, you're going to get what you expect. And you have to let go of your need to control others and start controlling yourself, especially your mind. Let go of your need to control anything outside of yourself. Lastly, I want to talk about planting the seeds of wealth and abundance through giving. So you decide what, it doesn't have to be a percentage, but whatever you get, you need to give something you value, time and money, both usually. You need to give something you value to someone else who really needs it. And you're going to get that back 10 times. So that's volunteering, where it's pulling money out of your pocket for the cause you believe in. Giving something you value to someone else, time, money, energy, mentorship, that comes back to you tenfold. So, stop judging and complaining. Stop judging where you're at. Stop judging your situation. Stop judging your partner. Stop judging your boss. Stop judging yourself for where you're at and your failures. And practice gratitude for what you have accomplished and what blessings and gifts you do have. Radical gratitude and acceptance. So, stop judging and complaining. Mental diet, very important, and I struggle with this. News, things you can't control, toxic things, all these other things. We're all gonna have some sort of exposure to them, but it's just like alcohol or tobacco or drugs or something toxic. You want to keep that to a minimum. So yeah, watching a little news isn't going to kill you. Watching a little reality TV isn't going to kill you. But it is toxic, and you have to keep that in mind. And you have to be focused on your dreams. Focus on what you want. Focus on the abundance, the relationships, the situations you want. And keep your mind on that. And watch things and consume things that remind you of that rather than what you don't want in your life. Well, anyway, that's what I want to do for you and share my best with you today. And I hope you can make some moves with what I've given you today. And we can work on coaching for your exact situation. And we can figure out whatever it is that you want to get done or whatever it is that's holding you back. We can work on that for your exact situation. If the video is not enough to get you where you want to be. But I'm sure you can use this to help live a better life and be more satisfied, content, and happy and blissful today. So use this information today. Start applying it now. Like, subscribe, and I will be talking to you soon. Like and subscribe to my videos for the algorithm. Help me out a bit. And love you all. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.